Alright, on to episode 2, the Bookmobile. This is where we get our first villain, and it's an old librarian lady. It turns people into books by scanning their palm. Hey, although I'm led to believe that maybe this wasn't supposed to be the second episode. The way that, there's some dialogue later in the episode is confusing, but this Bookmobile has come to Pleasantville, and it's ran by this old lady who scans people's palms and turns them into books. That's the big bad guy for the first villain episode, I guess. Yes, so during her reign of terror, I guess you could call it, she captures Stacy, Damon, Travis, Tommy's dad, and a few others. And so basically, Tommy has to go and save all the people as the Bookmobile is leaving town. Now, it's very interesting how the Bookmobile would actually work. If it was actually, if this lady wasn't some evil witch lady who is, or whatever she is, Babylonian poem stealer, soul stealer, whatever. How would it actually work? Because it's a library. She keeps saying it's a library. So if it's only there temporarily, your checkout's permanent. You scan it, and then you pay for it, and you get the book. Or because it'd be weird if you, because it seems she's only there for a couple days, so you have to read the book within 2 days and bring it back before they leave. I don't know. It's very weird. There's also a subplot in which Merton has figured out a way for Tommy to not be a werewolf anymore. In the second episode, would you believe? Apparently, if all of the planets in the solar system's moons align, which they do every 70 years, it just so happens that this time, where all the moons are aligned, is the next day from when Merton is telling him, which Tommy replies with, well, that's ironic. Actually, no, it's a coincidence. Ironic would have been if it was yesterday, which is what he says. We haven't gotten into the part of the series where, at a certain point, they start making movie references. Horror movie references, of course. This is just like in that movie, blah, 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 where this and this and this happened. And it's like, oh, well, not in the movie, where he says, okay, what about what movie? What happened in the movie? And Merton will be like, oh, well, I was doing this. No, not the movie. In the movie. Oh, well, then this, the whole thing. That hasn't happened yet. This is still, Becky's going to have friends over and gives all the pictures of Merton in the house to Merton. It's like, here, take these. One of which is a baby picture, and it's like, I would hide that baby picture. Why would your mother keep baby pictures of you sitting around the house? That's weird. My mom has photos of all her kids on the wall. Well, most of us. She's not talking to my brother, but that's neither here nor there. But most of us on the wall at their house. But and see, I have pictures there. That's my niece. You'll see hanging out there, sharing a picture with my son, which you can't see. Hold on. There you go. And then my brother and his woman's up there, and then my sister is over there, next to Superman. But anyway, I have the photos back there. I guess my niece is going to be in all these videos, just hanging out. So, yeah. And so Tommy decides he's going to transfer. So once every 70 years, he can transfer the wolf powers to someone else. Now, it's a little confusing when we get to the second season and the evil werewolf syndicate where they say he's an alpha werewolf and he can create new werewolves. So no matter whether or not the transference thing is going, if he bites someone, he will still transfer werewolf powers, but he'll still be a werewolf. Whereas here, if he bites someone, it transfers it. So he picks this goody two-shoes guy who does charity and stuff, because there's another guy that they hate, and he's like, oh, but he's a pyromaniac. You don't want a werewolf pyromaniac guy. So, Ty brings up a good idea. He's like, you know who would be good as a werewolf? Jackie Chan, because he could do like wolf fu. Jackie Chan, I don't think he's ever been in a werewolf kung fu movie, and that would have been cool. But I'm just saying, Jackie Chan is a werewolf. Whew. You know what I mean? But, so he picks this guy, Jason something or other, and he goes to bite him in public with everyone around. Wouldn't you wait until he's alone before you can do it? Like, why would you do it when people are watching, including Stacy, and now they think he's gay, which that's a joke that doesn't necessarily age well, but as 90s gay jokes go, it's a light one. Also, Merton says he has to bite him on his carotid artery. No, if your carotid artery is hit, you'll bleed out. So if he bit him, he'll bleed out. You get hit in your carotid artery, you're not. No, you'll bleed out. There's no there's no coming back for that. So I get maybe like, okay, we got to be smart and give a technical name, carotid artery, so that Tommy, who doesn't know what that means, goes, what? The neck. Yeah, but up here and not near the carotid artery, just bite. I don't know. Doesn't go through with it, and then when they realize, you know, Merton's like, hey, bite me, transfer it to me, and so they are in the lair. I forget to mention that's basically Merton's room, the lair, and he says, you know, transfer it to me, do it, just do it. He goes, fine, I'll do it, and as he goes to do it, his mom pops on the TV and says there are people missing, including, she doesn't mention her own husband, I don't think, but Tim and Travis Eckert, a couple other students, and Stacy. And so they realize that because they went to the Bookmobile and the lady tried to scam Merton's palms, but he has those gloves that keep the fingertips out, but not the palm. And she tried to take it off. He's like, fine, no, keep your book or whatever. And those potions might not even work anyway. And so they see a book called An All-American Cheerleader with Stacy's picture on it. Like, that looks like Stacy. And then later, when it's mentioned that Stacy is missing, Merton's like, what's the name of that book? He's like, All-American Cheerleader. He thought it looked like Stacy. Reminded you of Stacy or whatever. It's like, oh, it's All-American Cheerleader. So he looks it up. There's no such book in print, which I guess you can just look it up. This is a primitive version of Google, I guess. I guess you can look it up now. But no, it was like you can look up a book or something. Back when books were huge. Like, books are still a lot of people that read books now, but I feel like the percentage of people who read books, they don't buy actual books now. You get like a Kindle or something, or the Kindle, Amazon Kindle thing that you read it on. Now they're getting a physical copy of the books, but you know, that sort of thing. And so Merton's like, okay, bite me and I'll take care of the old lady. And he's like, well, come on, Merton, I have more experience in crime fighting. And I'm like, the second episode, you beat up Tim and Travis. I don't think you had much experience for that. That's why I'm thinking maybe this was supposed to be later. He has the normal makeup now with the spiky hair and the thing. He doesn't have this. I don't think he gets this until season 2, but he has like a little bit here, but it gets more pronounced later, I think. But he goes in there and he confronts, first of all, the whole chase trying to catch up with her is done to a version of the William Tell overture, you know. The whole thing as he's running down the street trying to catch the Bookmobile as it's leaving. Merton's in his hearse driving and eventually cuts the lady off as Tommy gets on top of the Bookmobile. He's like, okay, old lady, I know what you're doing. Kind of. Merton does. And he's like, turn these people, put all these books back into people. And she's like, no. And so then we get, because it's like, okay, he's going up against the old lady. What kind of fight can she give? Well, apparently, she opens the books and can then become the subject of the book. So she turns into this boxer guy and totally kicks Tommy's ass, punches him in the face. Come on, fight back. or just get punched in the face. He just keeps punching in the face. He's like, okay, fighting switch or fighting stance switch or whatever, style switch or something. And like, okay, you don't do anything, and he beats him up. During the where Tommy's getting punched though, Merton goes, oh, Adrian. I'm like, oh, Adrian. He's like, oh, Adrian. And then he kicks the boxer guy, and she turns into a ninja, which they fight. And Merton gets the idea to turn on some loud music, because earlier in the episode, she wasn't there, but it's a library. He goes, shh, you know. So it turns on loud music, and she reverts back into the old lady. Tommy scans her palm, and she turns into her own book. Then they find out they have to read all the books to free people, and it's like, wait, she opened the book and became one of those. But you have to read you have to read the whole book. He reads the whole book about Stacy, which is like everything that happened in her life, apparently. And then she pops back up, and she's wondering what's going on, which is weird when she's, because it's gonna be weirder when she steps out and notices they're just in the middle of the road. They didn't try to repark it somewhere or anything, and they're leaving town. There's another minor subplot that kind of doesn't go anywhere where Dean, the dad is trying to talk to Dean into reading more books, so he takes the remote away, and Dean just has a box of remotes. So he gets another one, just keeps watching TV. And overall, this episode was not bad. Not bad. There's a bit of a gag at the end where he's like, because he read the whole book on Stacey, oh, maybe you were thinking about going to whatever place where you were skinny dipping last summer. She's like, you spied on me, you pervert? And he's like, yeah, but I'm a cute pervert. And I was like, okay. And then he says, mark your calendar. And he has a calendar, somehow has a calendar that says 2069, which would be 70 years from 1999. And sadly, only 40 years from now, right? Yeah, 46 years from now. So I'll be an old man by then, by 2069. But at least all of the moons will have. And they say that Pluto's moon is the one that that moved away, so they can't, like, oh, Pluto's moon is no longer in alignment, so you can't transfer it to me. And I'm like, wow, I don't think they could do it now, even unless Pluto becomes a planet again and everything goes back to the way it was, but by 2069, but I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, the episode ends there. Not a bad episode. Pretty decent start here, so yeah, so what are your thoughts on the Bookmobile episode? Comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.